This is for the win from 29 from the right hash. Kuz's kick is good. Here is Durant for the win. James for the win. It's gone. LeBron James at the buzzer.
I want to talk about first the market for old superstars, because right now there's been a lot of talk regarding Russell Westbrook, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, a bunch of players between the age of 32 and 34, 35,
And up.
and up, right? And what it takes to get these players moved. I guess we got to talk about Rudy Gobert trade first, because I think it's affecting everything about these trades. So Utah trades Rudy Gobert to Minnesota for, what was it, 4 first-round picks, a player that just got drafted, and a couple of pick swaps. It was something ridiculous.
Yeah, so the official trade was Malik Beasley, Patrick Beverly, Walker Kessler, Jared Vanderbilt, Leandro Balmero, and 4 first-round picks. So
that's what? There's 9 players overall?
Yeah.
All right, so I know there are a lot of Rudy Gobert haters out there, and they like to diminish his impact on the court. To me, he's just like a new age Ben Wallace. But Rudy Gobert for 8-9 players essentially is the biggest overpay I've ever seen in NBA history.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. I mean, and even just not for what they got for it, just from a standpoint of having Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert on the floor at the same time, that's taking up a lot of space. Now, granted, Rudy doesn't have to have the ball to be effective because of his defense and his rebounding, but that it doesn't leave a lot of space on the court to really, especially in the paint, for Karl Anthony Towns to really, do what he needs to do.
Karl don't want to be in the paint. That's what it is. he want to shoot threes. He don't want to be in the paint. Like on defense, I mean, Karl Anthony Towns not a great defender either, but there's potential on defense to wreak havoc. This idea worked when it was Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins because of their skill sets.
Yeah.
Rudy Gobert can't be on the court the last 5 minutes of a game with Karl Anthony Towns, because offensively it's just going to be easy to guard. So, I mean, like I said, it was an overpay, but now it has set the market for 2022.
Yeah, and
so
I don't see how players like Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving really get moved, because teams are not willing to make that overhaul like this. I mean, they literally set the market. I mean, I know we talk about that terminology when we're talking about like people getting paid, but that's the same. It's the same is true for trades as well. Like trades and these type of transactions set the market. And for that to happen for a player like Rudy Gobert, who's, I mean, we laugh about it, but he probably is a future Hall of Famer. But I mean, we laugh about it, but I mean, the possibility.
No, it's true. It's facts.
Yes, the possibility is there. So, I mean, Kevin Durant, what is Kevin Durant command in this market? What is Kyrie Irving command in this market? What is Russell Westbrook command in this market? A player that, hasn't proven to get over the top to win a championship,
Well, I mean, so what has happened? It kind of reminds me of back in the day. There's a story between Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain, because you said setting the market. When Wilt Chamberlain got a new contract, Bill Russell went to the head of the Celtics and demanded that he get that same contract plus $1, and they gave him just that, because the new market was set. So let's dig into the Kevin Durant situation a little bit. So he demands a trade. His primary options, or where he wants to go, is Miami or Phoenix. From what I've seen online, because I follow a lot of like insiders now. Like one thing I've learned about Woj and some of them, like they get paid to say certain things on ESPN to create leverage. So you know what? The Nets, they might just run it back with them. You know, that's putting pressure on the Suns. That's putting pressure on the Lakers, this and that. So everything I've heard is Kevin Durant, his choice is the Suns. He's been working out with Devin Booker in LA. He's focused on going to the Suns. The Suns just had their debacle with DeAndre Ayton. They didn't want to give him the max. He was a restricted free agent. Indiana gives him an offer sheet. Phoenix matches it, but ultimately Phoenix saves, I think, like $5-6 million over this. One thing about the Phoenix Suns owner is he's incredibly cheap historically. He once told Raja Bell, "I could pay you, I just don't want to." He told Goran Dragic when he didn't make the All-Star game that he was happy he didn't make the All-Star game, so he didn't have to pay him an extra $1 million. Like, he's, not to mention all the misogynistic and racist stuff that's he's been accused of. But so Kevin Durant, the Nets reportedly want 2 All-Stars and a bunch of picks for Kevin Durant. I'm pretty sure that went up after seeing what happened with Rudy Gobert. I don't know how this happens unless there's a 3 or 4 team deal. But the whole you can't have 2 guys on their rookie extension contract makes things kind of muddy too. Because I heard some talk about Donovan Mitchell to Brooklyn, but if he goes to Brooklyn, Ben Simmons has to go. So where do you think Kevin Durant starts next season?
Well, I said this in the last episode. I truly believe this trade is nowhere near imminent. I do believe that Kevin Durant will start off the season on the Brooklyn Nets, playing for the Brooklyn Nets. Now, if a trade gets done before the trade deadline in the middle of the season, I'm not sure about that, but I do believe day one, first game, Kevin Durant will be playing for the Brooklyn Nets. I don't see a trade happening this offseason.
Yeah, as much as I think he wants it to happen, though we've never really been given an exact reason, I think the logistics they're just not looking too good. As a Laker
Brooklyn
fan,
wants too much. Brooklyn wants too much.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. As a Laker fan, I was very excited about the potential. It shows how desperate we are. We want to depend on Kyrie Irving, who plays 30 games a year and takes a break to go find himself or whatever. But, Kyrie's telling everyone he wants to go to LA. And then the report came out that, he wouldn't mind staying with Brooklyn. I think that was one of those, I'm hedging my bets just in case. Quietly, Brooklyn has had a good offseason. They've added some pieces that can help them win. But, Kyrie Irving to the Lakers would mean Russell Westbrook probably to the Spurs to get bought out. Or, and Russ just dropped his agent. Let's talk about Russ a little bit. I think Russell Westbrook is on the verge of what happened with Iverson, what happened to Melo. Yeah. I don't think there's a market for him. What are your thoughts on Russ?
Yeah, I don't think it's a market at all for him. Like you said, I think it will be a situation where if he's traded, he will have to be bought out and then just end up on a team for on a league mem or something like that. I don't know. Like it's nobody wants a player that obviously is aging. He doesn't have he doesn't have the shot making ability to create offense. I mean, his biggest threat is fast break offense. And, you don't get that all the time. I mean, sometimes especially when it comes to the playoffs, things slow down. Half-court offense is prevalent when it comes to the playoffs. So I don't just need a just get up and go type of point guard all the time. And then, he has a high turnover rate. It's just a lot of L's right now for Russ. And, he's one of my favorite players. I always like watching Russ, but I don't see a market for him.
Yeah, what's tough about Russ is everything he does well kind of had to do with his age. and his athleticism. And I said this 4 or 5 years ago. I was like, his game isn't going to age well. So right now he's not even finishing at the rim very well. He needs the ball and he can't shoot. And he's not a good free throw shooter. So if one of those things could he could improve on that dramatically, I think if he can become a knockdown shooter to some degree, because Jason Kidd did it. Jason Kidd wasn't a shooter back then when he was taking the Nets to the finals, but when he won with the Mavs, you could trust Jason Kidd to make a 3-point shot. So something's got to give with Russ, and I'm not sure he understands where he is at this point in his career. Like, his best bet might be to stay with the Lakers, because what team needs a starting point guard right now that is willing to take on Russ? There might be some like young teams or whatnot, but you don't need a Russell Westbrook. So what? The Clippers just picked up John Wall. I guess that would have been an option, and the Celtics needed a point guard, but I'm not sure they need a Russell Westbrook. So I'm really concerned on that front for him. However, I wish him the best. I do not think LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Russell Westbrook should run it back. I don't think it's a great fit.
Wasn't there a report that just came out that they had a conversation together and they could come to terms with
I don't know. Right. I don't know what to make of that. Like, I don't know if that's them just putting that out there just because. One thing that's been kind of annoying about this offseason, or just off seasons now as it comes, like, it's just a bunch of reports that conflict each other, and it's starting to get, the NBA is getting a little too tabloidy for me. So maybe they did talk.
It's kind of like it's kind of like the shade room or something, you know?
Yeah, that's exactly what it's like.
It's like it's like a new report every hour or every other day, and it's just like, do we really need this report?
And then the players, they tweet really cryptic stuff that doesn't really clear the air. I don't know. We'll see.
What I do think is funny, and this is just kind of going back to the Rudy Robert trade. A player by the name of Patrick Beverley, at the end of the playoffs, gets on the table and cheers as if they just won the NBA Finals, and that team trades you that same offseason. That's crazy. That's so crazy and funny.
Patrick needs to get his suit and ties and polos ready, because he's just gonna be on First Take a lot more often than he is. But, now he's saying, I'm gonna take Utah to the playoffs or something like that. He's probably gonna get bought out or moved. But all right, really quickly, a couple other moves that I think will have a huge impact that aren't really talked a lot about. Halliburton to the Celtics. I think if he can stay healthy, that's a good move for them. They also picked up Gallo.
Yeah, that's what I was going to hit on. Gally and Malcolm Brogdon to the Celtics, I think is.
My bad. I said Halliburton. Brogdon.
Yeah, Malcolm Brogdon and Gallinari to the Celtics. I think that's a really big thing for them. Gally has been a really constant professional and a constant vet in this league over the past few
years. What you're getting out of him.
Yeah, you know what you're getting. He can create a shot, get down there in the post. He's proved that in OKC and Atlanta most recently. And then Malcolm Brogdon, we talked about it with the Celtics. They needed a point guard. They need somebody that can come in and solidify the ball handling and getting people involved and all that type of stuff. And I think Malcolm Brogdon has proved that.
How do you think they use Marcus Smart now? Like, I'm really interested to see, because so do they
he's
start?
He's going to be relegated to a defensive type of player now. I don't think he's going to be that much involved in the offense as much. I think
so. No, so my thing is, you can't put Smart on the bench. He was the defensive player of the year. So you're going to start Brogdon, Smart, Jalen, Tatum. So now are you moving Horford to the bench, maybe? Robert Williams defensively.
Who was the two? Who was the starting two for them? I can't remember.
Technically, I think it was Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen? Okay.
Yeah, because it was Smart, Jaylen, Tatum, Horford, and Williams. Okay. Yeah,
that's going to be tough.
It's going to be interesting, to say the least.
I think that what they may do, they may start off with Marcus starting, and then they may kind of play with the lineups from there. But they'll probably start off the season, they may start off with Marcus starting and Brogdon coming off the bench.
It's possible. Yeah. I mean, regardless, we saw in the finals what did them in the most was depth because, people got on Tatum for his performance. I just think they were playing like 43 minutes a game. Like now they have the depth. I think the Celtics they're scary moving forward. Right now, they would be my favorite in the East. I know that's an easy thing to do, pick the team that just went to the finals. But they improved. Yeah. So that's something to look out for. A couple of contracts I want to compare. Extensions. So Dame gets 2 years for $122 million. Harden gets 2 years for $68 million. Now, Harden, his approach is, I'll take the pay cut so y'all can fill the team with whatever we need, which should be commended. Yeah. But I feel as if people they're not giving Harden that, they're not giving him that praise. I feel like any other player would usually get it. And, Dame's getting paid, man. And more power to him. Everybody's not going to win a ring.
Yeah. And I think he knows that now. I think he definitely knows that. He's I wouldn't say he's far from a ring, but he's kind of far from it.
Yeah, it's not.
And then from the James Harden aspect, James Harden has made a ton of money in his basketball career. And just from playing in Houston, where there's no state income tax, so your money is long. So he's made a ton of money. At this point in time, he can afford to kind of give a pay cut, so the team can kind of build some more pieces around him and Joel Embiid. But yeah, Dame I think is a long way from a ring. I think Harden is a little bit closer with Philly. Because definitely. They have Embiid, MVP caliber player. They just got to. I know you've been big on this with Tobias Harris. I don't know if they should just move off of that and move forward or what, because
he's overpaid.
Yeah.
Move him. I remember when he got. The league now is everybody gets a max. Whatever. I'm happy y'all are getting paid, but Tobias Harris, see what you can get for him. That's how I see it.
He's been really disappointing, and it's just like if you just, I don't even need Tobias Harris to just be like a third All-Star. It's just it's literally games.
It's the consistency aspect.
It's Joel Embiid and Harden, and then nobody else. And
or it's Joel and Maxey and nobody else, and Harden's missing.
So it's a lot of inconsistency with Tobias Harris. Yeah, I think they have to move off that piece and find something else as well.
Yeah, I think we know what Tobias is now. So, all right, that's it for our update. We'll make sure we do it the way this offseason be going. By the time this drop, Kevin Durant could be playing in Lithuania or something for all we know. But I'm definitely excited for this coming season. We didn't talk much about the draft, but there are a lot of young teams with a lot of pieces that I'm excited to watch. So, that's us checking in. We'll catch y'all next time.
Until next time, for the win.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for joining us on the For the Win Vodcast.
Make sure you follow us on IG at For the Win Vodcast, on YouTube at For the Win, on Apple Music, on Spotify. We are everywhere.
For the win.
And we out. Peace.
Yes, sir.